Every book that lined the shelves, or was left open on the table, had either been stolen or donated, and every book was given away just as easily. Sometimes the books arrived in wheelbarrows, sometimes on sleighs. An apartment would be subdivided somewhere in the city, and the books would be thrown out, along with the bourgeois residents. Mrs. O'Sorgin was always in the back room preparing one thing or another. The potato smell got into the wool of our coats. Everyone who went there left smelling the same. I sometimes fantasized that I could meet someone in an entirely other part of the city and know them as one of my own, because they'd smell like the shop and I'd know they'd been there. But the truth of the matter was, most Muscovites smelt like potatoes then, since it was all anyone ate in those days, whereas very few had ever been to O'Sorgin's. Sometimes we ate dinner in the back room. Then Mrs. O'Sorgin, I never called her Rachel, added special things to the meal. Nuts, butter, chopped onions. As for Mr. O'Sorgin, when I think of him now, I cannot see his face. It is the hunch of his back that I remember, the way it told of a lifetime of loving books, though perhaps it also spoke of fear or shame. I have no way of knowing which. His voice resonated, sonorous and slow, as if it came from inside a much bigger body, as if no matter what he said, all you would remember would be the beautiful, solemn sound. He can't have been more than 40 then, but I was so young he seemed older than that. Maybe if I'd paid closer attention to what he'd been saying, rather than how he'd said it, I'd have understood why everything happened the way it did. When we wanted new books, we stole them from the stores on Tverskaya. If we wanted to understand the new books, we'd bring them to O'Sorgin's. I say we, but even if I envied the students who would steal from the stores, I couldn't manage it myself. I sometimes went into the stores on Tverskaya with a new volume in mind. But as soon as I found it, I'd feel as if everyone were watching me, and then I'd look around the store until I found someone who was. At O'Sorgin's, every wall but one was lined with shelves that sank in the middle with the weight of books. On the remaining bare wall hung a chalkboard, and every week some new idea would appear there. One week it might be a citation from Freud. Another it might be Bertrand Russell. Is there any knowledge in the world which is so certain that no reasonable man could doubt it? Sometimes one citation would relate to another, but just as often there was no obvious link. Sometimes the citations were tributes and sometimes they made fun. Which was it when drawings from Tsiolkovsky's An Airplane or a Bird-like Flying Machine appeared? Subtly, these ideas rippled out from O'Sorgin's and into bars and late-night conversations throughout the city. The students, the professors, the activists, the fighters, whoever went there, worked there, or sold books there were my kind of people. I automatically trusted them. It was that kind of place. On the day I met Sasha, the store was mostly empty. Sasha, Jack, and I were the only customers, but I didn't know them yet. My impression when I first met them was that Jack was studious and Sasha was wild. A simple conclusion based on nothing, really. Jack had arrived at the bookstore first, and I'd not even noticed him bent over his book in the corner by the blackboard. Sasha, on the other hand, came in clamoring. He was slight but moved.